Welcome to Unfiltered Journeys podcast.
Wait, that was
so perfect and
synced.
unplanned. I love
Right.
that.
Let's pray.
Okay, do you want to lead? I'm Lisandra. I am 34 years old. I forgot my age for a quick second there. 34 years old. I am a single mom. I currently am a corporate flight attendant. And so I fly a lot for work. I'm away most of the time. But I get to see a lot of different places, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people. I honestly love that. I was born for it. Aviation has been my thing forever at this point. I have been going to church since I was a baby, to be honest with you. I started out going to Catholic churches because of family and everything. And then as I started to grow in faith on my own and like find my own journey, I kind of left Catholic churches and started going to, I think I started with like Presbyterian and all of that. And now we go to Church Alive, which I love. It honestly feels so comforting to me. It feels like just a very open, safe space. And it's really fun and relatable. The pastors are great.
Yeah, I
love it there.
I love the people too.
Yes. I mean, I guess I haven't done too many activities because of, again, all of the flying and everything. So I haven't been able to immerse myself as much as I would like to. But for sure, the second that I tone back on the flying, which is to come soon, I would like to start doing that for sure.
Yeah. Well, my name's Karina. I'm 30 years old. I'm married, and I've been with him forever.
No,
but
truly,
I love him.
Truly.
It's okay. I love him. That's truly a blessing, honestly. We've grown up together, and it's been a beautiful journey. I'm a dog mom. I know there's many dog moms out there right now. What else? Currently I wear like different hats. So I do have a 9 to 5. I'm a EA, which stands for Executive Assistant to a CEO for a nonprofit here in Newark, which is an amazing nonprofit, by the way. And then
plug it.
What else? I also own this Airbnb where we're at right now filming with my husband, and we've owned it for like the past 2 years. Thank God it's been going well. And it's our little like amazing content spot when there's nobody here.
It's
literally perfect for us. So that's that. I mean, other than that, if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you know that I also play volleyball. I coach volleyball, and that's another one of like my passions or hobbies, I guess. Like,
yes,
that's something that's important
little
to me.
Volleyball guru.
I don't know about all that, but yeah, I do love it. It is fun. But yeah, that's a little bit about us and who we are, and kind of we'll share how we met.
Hey guys, we are so excited to finally be starting this podcast with you guys and sharing these episodes with you. And welcome on this beautiful new little journey with us.
Yes, we're happy to have you here. So let's get started.
You want to talk about how we met first?
Sure, why not? That's fun. It's a fun story.
No, seriously, that was crazy. And I almost want, I'll mention it, but I kind of want you to run through it because you're the one who was like the active party in this one, I feel like.
Okay.
If it wasn't for you, we would not be here today, pretty much.
Right.
But we went to Resilient Women. We both go to Church Alive. They do a Resilient Women's Conference every single year. Actually, I think a couple times a year at this point. But it's really just great for women who walk in faith to go and come together and learn about Jesus, learn about just anything and everything in your walk in faith.
Super awesome. My first time going, by the way, was it last year?
Yes,
last November.
When was it? It was November, because it was cold.
Mm-hmm. So it was last November, and that was my first time that I decided to go. But funny enough, I wasn't supposed to be there. Okay. And I was supposed to be on vacation to South Africa that weekend for my birthday.
I was going to say for your birthday, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how I remember it was November. And obviously that didn't happen. There was
Little mishap.
little reasons, or I had issues with my passport. Long story short, I was like, okay, I'm not going to South Africa anymore. And I did want to go to the conference, but it obviously fell on the same weekend,
Right.
so I had to like choose.
God was moving.
But then when like it got canceled, I was like, oh, I was never meant to go. Like I needed to go to this conference, And then I went, and I just remember like super awkward because a lot of the women go by them like with their groups, right?
Yes, a lot of them go.
A lot of them go with friends or like whatever group they're in.
I went alone, mind you.
Me too. So I was like already like, oh, like okay, let's see. And prior to me going to this conference, I had already been asking God for like more like like-minded friends, and also people that were mature in their faith. Like felt like I kind of wanted more friends to kind of guide me and push me instead of me always pushing, them. And then literally like we get there, I sit down, and Lissandra's like literally right there all by herself. And I'm like, oh man, I should, like literally battling inside, like I should talk to her. And I was like giving it some time, and then I was like, is anybody sitting there? And you were like, no. I was like, okay, can I sit?
I was like, please come.
Right.
Please join us. Me and my personalities. Join. It was so crazy though. And then like we started talking throughout the conference, obviously, because it was 2 days, right? 2 days long.
Yeah, it was 2 days.
And they speak about a lot of different things. So then we started speaking about, just different things that we've been doing like previously in our lives and things that we align with and all of that. And it just, things were clicking. It was so weird.
It was so natural too. Like nothing was forced.
Really.
It was really like easy. You were so easy to talk to. You're very comforting. I feel like for me.
And so are you. You're like the calming presence, I feel like.
Oh, thank you. I just felt like very comforted by you that day because I was like, I don't even know this girl, and she's over here like rubbing my back, and I'm over here bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you, I needed that, like and I was just like, wow, like it felt nice, to share with somebody, because like I felt like if I was alone, it probably would have been a totally different experience.
For sure, no,
100%.
I think that I got more out of it with you being there for sure than like being alone, because honestly, alone sometimes, like my ADHD brain will literally run off and I'm like thinking about 10 other things, even though the conference is going on.
Right.
I think it was like easier to stay focused, having somebody there, feeling more, just calm and in the moment and present.
Yeah, for sure. And then like just, I think a lot of self-reflect happened because we were both like actively talking about the topics as they were being talked about.
Exactly.
Where like if you're by yourself, like who are you going to talk to? Other than God, right? Like who are you going to like be there reflecting with?
No, exactly.
So it would be like awkward.
We took notes and everything. Yeah.
Shared love. Yes. Everything.
It was great.
So Uber Eats is here. We'll be right back.
One moment. When we were at the conference, we started talking about all the things that we've done as far as creatives. This girl has had like 30,000 businesses and has been kick-ass. It's crazy.
Tried many businesses.
Trying is doing. Okay, there's no such thing as try. You either do it or you don't do it, right? And you did it. And so we started talking about just creatives and things that we've done. And I've done Twitch streaming prior to. I also did YouTubing for a little while,
which is cool.
Right.
I actually never met someone that like live Twitched before. So that was cool.
My gosh, it was so much fun. Really? Honestly, I wish I could get back to it sometimes, but it was great. And I feel as though connecting with people is for me like the biggest blessing. I love it. It's my purpose on this earth for sure.
Yes.
And then she's done so many different things. She does content creation like nobody's business. Right now you do like social media management with your job.
So I do it with my job. Obviously, I help out a lot of like my close friends. Like we bounce back, we share ideas, do it for the Airbnb. It's honestly, I feel like other than like being kick-ass at what I do, like I feel like I'm pretty good at like just at like project management and administration. I'm getting better. Obviously, everybody has room for improvement, but I really enjoy it, which is weird. Like, sometimes that role is kind of just like, but I really do enjoy what I do. And then content creation has been my creative like outlet, like a way to express myself. Like I've never been good with words, so I either have to like write it all out or express it through like video or images. You know what I mean? Like I can't just like at times put together how I feel. So I feel like I could really do that when like I put like something together and take the time to really understand how I'm feeling. Hence the stuff we've been posting on TikTok and Instagram. It's just like very vulnerable things that have taken me time to really put down and process and like release in a creative way. Like, like
she's definitely the planner of the two of us. I'm like, whatever, let's do it. Sure, I'll show up and we'll just go off rip.
But it works.
It does. It does. Honestly, the dynamics I feel like work so well between the two of us. And like you said, everything was just so effortless when we had first met.
Right.
And we both were talking, again, we were talking about all of these things. And then one of us had mentioned that we were thinking about starting a podcast. And I think it was me that I mentioned it, that I had wanted to get into podcasting. And she was like, stop, that's crazy. That's what I've been talking about. And so everything was just aligning. And we decided at that conference that, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start the podcast.
Yep.
And we did it.
Yep. And mind you, that was like November. So right now
it's been a long time coming for sure.
Right. But
we started recording in March.
Yeah, we did. We started recording and kind of making content and kind of getting used to being in front of the camera.
Right.
Kind of understanding what our purpose was going to be and, making sure we're both on the same page with that. So it feels really good. Honestly, today feels really good.
It feels so different from even the first time.
Like, it feels really good. Like, it feels like, okay, this is it. Like, we're ready. Like, that's how I feel.
I do feel like God put us in a little holding pattern for a quick second there. I do think that there were some things in me that I still needed to work out even. And I can see that now being, just a couple months past from when we first, I think it was like March 3rd or something, we started recording.
Same.
And I'm sure if I even go back and listen to that episode, I would
be
like
cringy
no.
Yes, girl, I was listening to it the other day and I was like, oh my god.
Were you? Girl, I haven't even listened. I'm like, I don't want to hear it.
I have the full recordings. So I was like, ooh.
No, I was like, I don't want to hear it. But for sure, I think I had some things inside of me that I needed to like work out. And so I'm glad on my end.
We took that time. No, I definitely think that time was so. There was like a waiting season there, and like personally for me, I just feel like there's been the shift in energy in terms of like what we're capable of.
Right.
Me and like individually, like there's been a new sense of like focus and urgency to get things like 100%. Going. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's just like, let's focus, let's get this done. We can get it done even if it's little by little, which it has been, but look, we're here today, we're getting it done. So definitely even internally, there's things God has helped me overcome in the last few months that I feel like stronger than I was feeling prior, and a lot more confident in myself than I was.
Right.
I think it's just like a confidence thing too.
I kind of like feel that and see that about you too. It's
really?
So crazy. Like even just sitting here with you, like from the first time we recorded and everything.
Yeah.
I do, because I feel like there was maybe a little bit more nervousness in the first episodes of us recording and everything. And now for sure. And I feel even the same for me though. I do feel like, I don't know, God took me through this something through this mental journey, and I came out on the other side feeling more in my power. But we also spoke about this, about us posting our stories.
Yes, girl.
Yes, when we posted our stories.
How did that feel?
Oh my gosh. So
please
I went first.
Take me through.
I went first, and I was like, girl, I'm going to send this to you first because this is about to be some ish that I'm posting.
And just real quick, if you haven't seen it, you got to follow us on our
follow us on TikTok and Instagram,
so you can see what we're talking about.
We'll put them here so you guys can go and follow for
and you
sure.
can see the videos. But go ahead.
But yes, I was like, girl, it's about to be some. I'm unleashing things that I have never spoken about to people. Well, to other than like my therapist.
Right.
And this is about to be crazy, but I'm about to drop it. I was a little bit nervous. I sent it to her. She was like, "That's so good, so impactful. Definitely post it."
Powerful.
I was nervous. So her little like push and motivation was needed, because I was like, oh my god,
it's so like gut wrenching. Like you're like,
right, it's crazy. It's just crazy. And maybe because it's our stories, like some people probably won't like resonate with it, but listen, go watch the videos,
catch that video. TikTok,
after
Instagram.
I posted it, I felt such a sense of release. Like relief. Sorry, I felt such a sense of relief and a release. Because I truly, and I can't explain it, as soon as I posted it, I felt like this story is no longer mine.
Yes.
This story is no longer mine. This story is God's story now, that he is going to use to speak to somebody else who has potentially been through the same or similar issue in the past, and they can use this now as a testimony. Because I've spoken to my therapist about it a million times, like I said, and yes, I've like done the healing process and moving past these things, but to post it, I never felt like that.
Right. And then also like opening yourself up to just who knows who, you know what I mean? And like, I think a lot of times we think about what are people going to say, or like, how are people going to react to this? And like, oh my gosh, like blah, blah, blah. Right? It's like, it's a lot. But I think once you do it, you're like, okay, that wasn't that bad.
What about you posting yours? Yours was so perfect too. It was like a voiceover, and it was,
girl, you know, I'm good with my content.
She's just good. She's clearly the content creator.
I try. Like, I think I'm very like artsy when it comes to what I want to share. And this was something very personal, but I didn't want to share it in a sense of like, I'm thinking more of like the people that know me, like my friends, and like obviously you know, and like we've shared kind of a little bit of it.
Right.
I wanted them to see how they impacted me through my journey. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So like my purpose was, yes, I went through this, but God got me through, my village got me through, like everyone that I put in that video. And obviously there's people that have helped me through my journey that I couldn't fit all in one video, you know? But it was like the feeling. That's what I wanted people to understand. It's like the feeling of like feeling whole again, which I haven't felt in like such a very long time, like ever really, until now. Like I feel like I feel whole, you know? And it's a feeling that's like new to me. So it's also kind of just like embracing it, you know, and like it's okay to be happy. Like we deserve it. We deserve it, you know?
I think it's okay to be happy, and it's okay to not be happy, and then be happy, and then not be happy. It is a constant, it's a whole journey.
Right. And I just felt like as soon as I posted it, it just felt like for me, it was like, I'm done with that. You know, like it was kind of like, okay, I'm done with that. Like it's done. Like it's out there.
The release.
Like I don't have to like hold it or like hide it in a way or be ashamed of it anymore, because it's out there. And you know, I thought the same way. Like when I posted it, I was like, why am I doing it? You know, there's things obviously other than me wanting, like in the background of what cost me to like finally share it. But the main thing was like, I thought about when I was going through this, and we had like social media and stuff, but like nobody was like openly ever talking about this, right?
Right.
And I thought about like, what if I was that kid now and they saw my video and they're going through the same thing? Like, what would
Right.
their reaction be? You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
that's kind of like where I focused it, and was like, sometimes we're in those situations and we don't know what to do. And you don't know if saying something is like the best thing for you, or you're afraid, or there's so many things that go on that you just don't know what the outcome is going to be, and you're so afraid of what the outcome will be that you kind of
Right.
decide to just stay in that situation and deal with it. That if somebody was going through that, I wanted them to see like it gets better. You
For
know what I
sure.
mean? Like,
100%.
stay strong. Like, eventually God is going to open that way for you, just like he did with
Right.
me. That's kind of like another reason that I would
Right.
have
For
felt like
sure.
it's time to let go of that, because it's taken a long time to get here. You know what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm saying.
Oh my, healing
A
is
lot of time.
such a process that I feel like people, and honestly, that kind of almost brings us to our purpose for this podcast and
Correct.
everything. My whole mentality going into this was I want this to be a safe space for anybody to
Anybody?
come,
Yep.
really, obviously. But obviously, we're going to be mainly speaking to women who are around our age and, through similar types of life paths and things of that sort, or even like very different ones, but you are looking to either, find a community or grow closer in faith, or even if you'd want to just hear about it, because we're
Right.
not super biblical, super preachy women over here
Right.
at all. But this is about our walk in faith
Faith.
and how believing in God and that journey has pushed us through so many, I feel like, difficult times of our
Yeah.
life for sure. But
100%.
my whole mindset on this was I want this to be a safe space. I don't want it to be where we're putting people in boxes. A lot of people, a lot of society will try to put you in a box. Oh, if you believe in God, then you have to be perfect and you have to do everything right. And if you ever make a mistake, now you're going straight to hell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not how we feel about it. That's not what we believe at all. And so, for sure, welcome on this journey with us. We might make mistakes on this along the way, and
Yeah,
so
we're
common
learning too.
experience with us for sure.
Yes.
And we want this to just be like a really safe, judge-free zone.
Yeah, comfortable space, where you guys can comment what you want to talk about next. It's kind of like we're talking about it together every time we watch. I think there's a lot of things that we don't talk about in general that everybody in some way goes through or knows what the feeling is,
Right.
and when we just think like we're the only ones that are going through it. But also, it's the reason why a lot of us don't understand each other nowadays, because nobody talks to anybody. Nobody has the time to understand why somebody's the way they are. And not to excuse, there's obviously behaviors that we don't accept, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a beautiful thing when we get to know each other, because if I've never took the chance to get to know you that day and took the chance on a
Right.
stranger, we would have never even done this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yes.
it is a beautiful thing when we actually take the time and
Have
try.
tough conversations.
Yeah, it should be normal. It should be normalized. We all go through things, and there shouldn't be any shame attached to that. And I'm finally learning that,
Yes.
like, finally.
And I think the beautiful thing too is that yes, we all go through things, we all have our stuff, and the journey of moving past it is, I feel like, the part that's so beautiful. And like we just
Yes.
said before, it doesn't have to be something where you are perfectly healed and everything. You're just so super happy, because I think that's a misconception.
Yeah, for sure.
Healing and being on a healing journey does not mean that you are never triggered, because baby,
Mm-hmm.
I still get triggered.
Yes, all the time.
Very triggered
All
sometimes.
the time.
But I think the difference is that you learn how to move out of it faster. You learn better ways of being able to cope and deal with something. I
Mm-hmm.
still recluse sometimes. I still have my days where I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
don't nobody talk to me. Don't look at me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't breathe next to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just know now that I need to like keep myself out of certain places
Mm-hmm.
or keep myself away from certain people
Yep.
because it'll bring something out of me that I just don't want.
Exactly. And it's all about protecting your peace, standing on your boundaries.
Ooh, 10 toes.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Standing on them. Because that's the only way I feel like that you're really going to understand who it is that it's in your life are the people that are going to respect your boundaries, and they're going to understand why you have them without questioning you, without making you feel guilty or seeing you as like the villain. They're going to understand, okay, if that's what you need from me, then that's what we're going to do. You know what I mean? And that's what I've seen through my village is like they respect my boundaries. And that's big for me because we didn't have
that's
that all
so
the time.
important.
Yeah.
That's honestly, I'm so glad you mentioned that. That's honestly one of the most important things because I feel like, and we've spoken about this so many times, of having to release people and remove people from our lives because of the fact that they're not respecting boundaries or they're just not letting you be who it is that you are, and they're just not a safe space to show up as yourself.
Right.
And I do think the discernment of that is going to be what honestly gets you through life the fastest. I feel like people are always saying, oh, you have to be very mindful of the spouse that you choose because they'll determine the trajectory of your life. I think just as important as that is the friends and people you keep around you in your circle, your community.
1000%.
Because you're going to see them all the years up until you finally meet your spouse. And they're going to determine what your life is like until then.
Yep. It's very true. So true, because I feel like, you know, in your 20s, like teens and 20s, I mean, at least for me, it was very much so of like company. You know what I mean? Like attaching to people for the fact of like, I just want to have company and not be alone.
Yeah.
Not to say that those people weren't good friends. It's just like maybe they weren't like the best option for me. But because I felt this hole, this loneliness, this rejection, neglection from my own traumas and the people that have failed me, I was settling for a lot of these friendships because like I felt like that's what I deserved. You know what I mean? And I didn't know any better.
Sounds like my relationships.
So yeah, you know, I think it makes a lot of sense because when you're around certain environments, certain actions seem okay. But then when you're around other environments, like now I'm in a healthier, much healthier circle of friends. It's like, wait, what we doing? We going home? It's right, like 10 p.m. on a Saturday. Oh, we going home, or you're coming over. We're doing game night, or you know, let's do like a 100%. Movie night or like something. But it was like those clubbing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just like it depends on who you're with. If you're going to the club and what you're going to the club for,
right. And I also do think because drinking is not a sin, right? No. You can drink. I do think that it brings different things out of different people though. So if you're somebody who can drink and like still be calm and not go overboard, cool, great. But there's a lot of people obviously that it'll affect very negatively.
Yeah.
And you'll go way overboard. I, for one, have crashed out many a times from drinking. And so I now know that I have to be very careful and very mindful of doing things like that. I don't drink very often anymore. But that also, now when I do drink, I have to make sure, okay, cool, like let's just monitor what we're doing here. Like keep it to like 1 or 2 drinks and we'll be coasting. We'll be good.
Yeah, I think for me, alcohol was very unhealthy for a while. Like I felt like it was like a numbing thing for me. Like I would just be drinking and like you know, I wouldn't know my limit. I blacked out when I was in my 20s a lot of times. I blacked out the weekend I got freaking proposed to. That's how recent. That was like the last time I ever was like, no, actually, I'm not even gonna say it.
I'm not even gonna say it.
But I realized after this point. So I had my wedding, and out of the excitement, everybody was feeding me drinks though. So like, it wasn't like I was like 100% guilty here, but people were just happy to see,
At a wedding,
yes,
for sure.
at my
Drinks
wedding.
are I feel like you're allowed to get drunk.
Right. So everybody was just like, "Here, Karina, there's no drinking your hand. Here," and of course, I'm not gonna say no, and I'm over here drinking. I was out by like 7 p.m. and it was my wedding.
She missed her whole wedding.
No, not the whole thing.
She missed the whole reception.
Right. But it was
That's
actually
hilarious.
here. It was actually here.
Oh, that's
so
fun.
Yeah. So we did like an intimate wedding. But it was after that point that I was like, damn, I really like blacked out on my wedding. And I don't like, it's crazy, right? And of course,
funny.
Like, my circle, super non-judgmental. They like loved it for me. They were like, oh, Karina, like, like she had fun. But I kind of like was bothered.
You felt convicted.
I felt convicted. And I was like,
sometimes.
I didn't like the fact that happened to me. And like, why does that always happen to me? And it kind of was like, why can't I just like chill sometimes? Like, what's up with that? So after that point, I really don't drink that much. Like, I feel like I'm very like conscious of like how I'm feeling because I don't want to feel like that ever again. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's like ugly now. Like, like to me, I'm like, oh, girl, you too old to be blacking out in the middle of the night somewhere. Like, like, come on. So, I mean, personally, that's how I felt like. And then obviously, once I started to bring that into my awareness, it was like, oh, wait. So I do have an unhealthy problem with alcohol. Alcohol became a way of me to like ignore everything that I was feeling.
It was like your coping.
It was
your
my
vice.
Coping, yeah, for some time, And of course, it presents itself early on as like, let's go to the club, let's go do this, let's blah blah blah. But if you're not careful, it becomes like an outlet,
of course,
and that's what it was for me. So it has maybe in the last like 5 years, like it maybe like last 10 years, like 20 to 30, I was like heavy on the social drinking. It's not like I was like every day like in my house, but socially it was bad. And I was like, girl. So I got married 2 years ago, sorry. So it's been like about 2 years where now I'm more like not self-conscious, but more aware and conscious about how much I drink. Self-aware.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, these are things we're saying this, and you're allowed to make mistakes along the way. I'm not even going to hold you. I want to say, like, just a few months ago, I was with a group of friends that I felt like I could be myself with, and I felt like it was a really safe space in. And God showed me some things that whole weekend. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
But I got completely wasted again, and I barely drink, right? I don't drink much anymore because of all the flying and working and everything.
Yeah.
And so it was a whole weekend of us just hanging out and drinking and all the things, and I was blackout drunk maybe like every day of that trip. I almost feel like it needed to happen because I saw a lot of things, not just with like the people who were there with me, but in myself too, that I was like, okay, like I hear you, I see you. And
sometimes you just like, it just happens,
right?
Like sometimes you gotta show you, like, the girl.
And they say, listen, there's a blessing in the crushing, for a reason, right? Like sometimes you have to literally be pressed in order for the blessings to just start pouring out, for sure. And so that is why this is a very non-judgmental, safe space. We have been through so many things and done so many stupid things in life that, trust, we are not the ones to judge over here.
Right. I think if anything, like the fact that we've been through so much kind of allows us to really get to know each other, or get to know people on that level, right? Like where we don't judge just because we take ownership and accountability for the things that we've done. when we were hurt and when we were lost and when we, you know, was just wandering around trying to fill that void, you know?
No, truly.
And now it's like we see it and like we recognize it in other people that now we could be like, let me guide you.
Right, for sure.
Like,
it's
here.
kind of like I recognize your pain and I recognize where you might be in this moment or how you're feeling. And if you want to talk about it, we could talk about it. If you want to just sit here in silence, we can just sit here next to each other in silence and just be there and existing for one another. But either way, we are definitely like a show up for each other kind of.
Yeah, and I feel that like going back to how we even started, like you made me feel comfortable. You had that comfort, right? And it's like you said, I had this like calmness to me. And it's like, I feel like that's what like you build when you just like, there's certain things that you just kind of like learn to like build when you go through things that everybody has their own thing though. You know, it's like, it's not like the same thing for everybody, but there's so much peace in my life now that I feel like it's going to take a lot to make me react because the things I've been through, I'm like, you gotta, come on, you gotta do better.
Right.
Like what
Come
else?
try again.
Right.
Try
like,
again.
Nobody's gonna take away my peace after how long it's taken me to like gain it back.
Oh my gosh. Right. And that's the thing. Like, we're here to have all the tough conversations with you guys because for sure that's something that people don't talk about. All of the pain and destruction it takes to get to that place of peace and not reacting as much and all of the things. I think for me where I probably still need more work is like the discernment piece for sure.
Girl, why are we always on the same page? I think we talked about this before. It's like we give people the benefit of the doubt to the point where it's like really hurting us more than it is benefiting us because we like to see the good in everybody, and then that
we have spoken about this before. You're right.
Yes.
100%. And we're such lover girls. We're such lover girls that we are just like, oh, it's okay.
We just
like,
want to love on you.
Right. We just want to accept you as you are and like heal with you and grow with you in this journey. But honestly, God does call us to move from people at times.
Yes.
He will sit here and show you again and again and again and again and again.
Right.
If it takes that you have to remove people from your lives. And so for sure, the discernment piece is, we got to say a prayer on it, girl. We got to say a prayer on it. She said,
one thing about me, guys, is these lights up in here are hot, okay? And then I have this little nervous thing where my palms sweat. So, girl, we gonna have to do it like this.
I'm crying right now
because it's hot in here right now.
Hilarious. That's God. He's convicting the heck out of us right now. He said, "Girls, absolutely."
Yes.
I love this, though. I love this.
So why don't we go? Like, let's try to get the most out of it because we still have another half hour. Why don't we go into like what? Since we're talking about you, kind of led the way into like separation from people. Like, what has that journey been like for healing?
Yeah.
Because that's a good, like, 30-minute segment right there.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Thank you guys for joining us on our episode. We hope that you come and take this beautiful little journey with us and like getting to know us a little bit.
Yes, it was so much fun. I'm so happy. This is finally done, our first episode. Yes. And honestly, we can't wait to see what you guys think about it.
Yes.
Make sure you subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Make sure you like, share, repost on TikTok, comment all of the good things. And of course, if you guys want to talk about anything specific, make sure you share with us as well.
Definitely let us know, please. We'd love to hear from you guys for sure. We want this to be like an open forum, so we're so glad to have you guys here. Thanks for joining us. We love you.
See you next time on Unfiltered Podcast. Wait, Unfiltered Journeys Podcast. I'll get it.
We'll get it right. I promise.
Yep, I gotcha. Bye.